just to talk about the collaborators that we already have established contact with and that we're very excited about. Daphne Bevelier has been mentioned several times. She's the co-director of the Brain and Vision Lab, or actually she runs the Brain and Vision Lab as a co-director of another institute at the University of Rochester that deals with neuroscience and gaming, and she's trying to understand and has provided some very compelling evidence in a talk she recently gave here at NYU on how action games can actually improve several aspects of visual perception. And action games are typically not the games we think of when we think of education, right? And so even they have, in terms of visual perception, some very intriguing outcomes. We're also working with several New York City schools and establishing connection to even more. We're also very excited, Ken already mentioned it, but we're so excited I need to mention it again, that we're working with pragmatic solutions. And I saw Jody a moment ago, you're giving a poster later, right, where you will present your approach, so we're not going to talk about it on your behalf right now, but the gist of it is the idea of us instrumenting the games was always one big goal for the grant, for the Institute, and one of the most amazing sources of data for us. And what Pragmatic has developed already is for in-game assessment and collecting of all different kind of game data, and then tools to visualize that data and analyze that data is a huge step forward for us, and we're very excited about that. We're also working with Computers for Youth, which is an organization here in the US that exists in several large cities, bi-coastal and in between, that goes into schools and looks at schools with families that are of essentially get free lunch is the way to talk around it, of a low socioeconomic status, low-income families, underserved families. And when they identify a group as a school as having more than 60% of students with that profile in the school, then the entire school becomes eligible for computers that are donated by corporations to Computers for Youth, and they pass it on to the families. And what's so interesting about their approach is that they actually then have contracts between the parents and the students about how they use the computers, and they're loading them up with educational software, and they have their own students from the schools that are giving the software to assess and evaluate which of the available software packages should actually go onto those computers. And so they could, of course, those solutions, those software packages already include some educational games. And so we're working with them, first of all, to help evaluate that software, but also they're collecting a lot of data on how that works to be part of the data analysis.